Your 40-day total, $1,382,800. That is your second highest one-day total. And you've now been a Jeopardy champion for 40 days and 40 nights. Amy Schneider has been making...
That is a very long time. Jeopardy champion Amy Schneider became the second longest running player in the show's history last year, winning 40 consecutive games of Jeopardy. Now Schneider is opening up about that moment and so much more in her new memoir. It's called In the Form of a Question, The Joys and Rewards of a Curious Life. We are proud to say it's published by Simon Schuster, which, like CBS, is owned by Paramount Global. Schneider writes in the book, quote, "Knowledge is a shield and a sword, a joy and a duty. If you have the desire not just to know, but to understand, then you will grow more and more powerful every day." And Amy Schneider joins us now. Amy, thank you very much for being here.
Oh, thank you for having me.
And congrats.
Thanks.
Congrats.
There is so much in this book that you open up about, and I want to get to a lot of it, but I want to start with the key message here, which is just that learning can be fun, learning makes you powerful, it can be a joy. Talk about what you want people to take away on that front.
Yeah, you know, I had so many people after I was on Jeopardy asking me, like, you know, how do you know all that stuff? And when I thought it through, I realized that it was just because I was raised to love knowing stuff and to be curious about the world. And that, you know, I also happen to have the sort of memory that, like, kind of trivia facts stick in my mind. So, like, I was lucky in that sense that that skill set applied to Jeopardy. But even apart from that, I think I've gotten so much value out of just having that curiosity to openness and understanding the world better and ultimately myself. And that's something that I think anybody can benefit from, whether or not they're going to, like, remember the capital of Liechtenstein or whatever. But being open and curious, I think, is brought me so many benefits.
What is the capital of Liechtenstein?
Vaduz.
But also, like, the key thing is being willing to be wrong and actually being open to being wrong and liking being wrong. Like you write, and this is very unique in the beginning of this book, that you hope to disagree in the future with what you're writing right now, what the reader is reading.
Right.
Talk to me about that philosophy, that approach.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, you know, I feel like I should always look back on myself in the past and think, boy, I was dumb back then. Because if I don't think that, then I haven't gotten any smarter since.
Yeah.
And so, and I do, like, I know that I've evolved on all my beliefs on a lot of things over the years, and I look back at times at things I used to believe, and I don't agree with that anymore. And if that was the case then it's reasonable to think that there's something I believe now that in the future I'm going to disagree with. So I just wanted to partly just, like, cover myself in you know, for...
Because there's a lot of topics in this book.
I'll say, but
dive in.
I like how you did every chapter with a question. Chapter 2, when did you know you were trans? And I'm wondering, did you have to have a whole thought process before deciding to go on Jeopardy? Because you are exposing yourself to the whole world in a very different way.
Yeah.
Was that something that was a tough decision?
It was. You know, I'd wanted to be on Jeopardy kind of like my whole life. I grew up watching with my parents. But then, yeah, when I came out as trans, it definitely made me reconsider for a while. Because, you know, trans people can become targets, and I've seen that happen to people, and, you know, it was kind of scary to be exposed in that way.
But what did you think it was when you were growing up, Amy? What did you think?
Yeah, I mean, you know, growing up in the 80s and 90s in Ohio, you know, trans person was not a concept that me or anybody in my community knew about. And so it wasn't something I could imagine being. And so when I was a kid, more or less, what I figured was all the other little boys probably wish that they were girls too and are jealous of them and wish they could wear pretty things and all of that. And we're all just not allowed to say that, so we're all hiding it. But probably everybody else feels the same way I do.
And there's nobody you can talk to really about it.
Right.
True.
Because that is, I mean, and also, you know, that is a thing, like, it's so strict in our society that men cannot do anything girly or talk about it.
That's changing, I hope.
Yeah, I think so. But that definitely, you know, made it easy to believe that everyone else was secretly thinking those things.
Yes.
I feel like most people can't differentiate knowing something and understanding something. And those are two things that you write about. You know yourself. What do you understand about yourself now versus, let's say, 20 years ago?
I mean, I think, you know, again, first thing, that I'm a woman. Took me a long time to understand that. But beyond that, you know, once I started living kind of more authentically, I learned a lot more. I learned that I am, like, kind of an extrovert and social. And I learned that I'm a lot more, you know, once I started allowing myself to be authentic, I could connect with other people so much better. And I learned that, you know, I'm really interested in getting to know people in a way that I was always kind of frightened of forming those connections before.
You were many things, but many things you didn't appear to be was nervous when you were on Jeopardy. You always seemed so calm, so in control. Were you feeling that?
No, I was definitely nervous
Yeah,
most
were
of
you?
the time, yeah. But, you know, I wanted, first of all, I just like, I'm a performer. I was a theater kid my whole life, and you know, I wanted to look good on TV, and I also didn't want my other contestants to know if I was feeling nervous.
Poker face, if you will.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Did you think you would have that long of a run? Did you think, I got this game, because you'd played it for so long?
No, I mean, like, you know, I thought I could be good. I told all my friends, I was like, if things go my way, I could win. I could see myself winning 3 or 4 games.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that was, you know, legitimately about the most I expected.
But hold on, I don't want people to think this is just an earnest book about learning and knowing. It is that, but it's also a very frank and honest conversation about drug use, about polyamorous relationships. I mean, you get into a lot of, you get tarot card reading,
Amy
belief
goes, yeah.
in God. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
Were there things in the book, and we only have about 30 more seconds, that you were like, ooh, I don't want to put that in?
No, because I felt an obligation to give an authentic representation of myself as a trans person, because I know to many people I represent that community.
Yeah.
And I wanted to give a full picture.
Yeah, and that's why you didn't wrestle with, do I have a story? You have a story, and it
have a
matters.
story.
You have a platform as well. Amy Schneider, thank you very much. Appreciate it. In the form of a question is on sale right now.
What is a good book?
Yeah. What is a good book? Yes.
Yeah.